welcome to Yo-Yo Talk. I see John Gates has already signed in. Tonight we have some exciting news to share with everyone. In just a few minutes, I will be announcing the 3 new inductees for the National Yo-Yo Hall of Fame. These are the 3 inductees for 2022. Now, to get into the National Yo-Yoing Hall of Fame, you pretty much have to be a legend already in the yo-yo community. You don't become a legend by becoming a member. It is just bestowing an honor, which everybody already knew. So here in a few minutes, I'll be announcing the 3 inductees. I'm going to let folks have a chance to sign in before we do that. But I would ask everybody, when we do announce the winners, to please chime in and congratulate those individuals when we make the announcements. And if they aren't happening to be watching in Yo-Yo Talk, then you can be one of the first ones to email them and congratulate them on their honor. So, but hopefully we'll have some of them anyway watching the show tonight. Also, we have a very exciting guest tonight. Speaking of legends, I think when you say the word fixed axle yo-yo play, the name Ed Haponik comes up number 1, 2, 3 on the list. Ed, of course, is a former 2-time world fixed axle competition champion, and he may be best known for his long run of yo-yo play from 2005, never missing a day. And of course, he has a plethora of videos on the internet, which most of us are very familiar with and are very helpful too. So we're going to have a nice conversation with Ed later on in the show after we announce the inductees into the Hall of Fame. We do ask, if you are a fan of Yo-Yo Talk, to sign up for it on Twitch, as the show has more options to interact with the viewers on Twitch. And of course, you can still watch on Facebook and YouTube Live. But if you start to follow us on Twitch, we'll be able to add more features for interactions on future shows. So keep that in mind. We, of course, will also have our trivia contest at the end of the show. Again, there will be 5 questions. We only have 20 slots available for competitors. So please sign in early. It's a lot of fun. And once those 20 slots are filled, then those are our players for this episode. Sean will be posting that link in the comment section here shortly. Last month, the winner was Rick Rentz, and I can see his prize package is still sitting on my to-be-mailed shelf. But I promise you, Rick, we will be getting that package to you. Sean will certainly be getting that package mailed shortly. Okay, so we need to see the prize package that we're playing for tonight. So let's go on and roll that, Sean. Are we rolling that prize package?
Yep, that is right.
These are our winning prizes for the one person that answers correctly the most and the fastest in the trivia contest tonight. The first item you'll win is this Pedro Flores mug. Can't buy these anywhere. The only place you can get these are on Yo-Yo Talk as prizes, or sometimes they were given away as gifts. This has Pedro Flores holding a yo-yo in front of his car, and that calligraphy of his name, that is actually done by Pedro Flores himself. He was actually an excellent calligrapher. So that is his writing right there. Now over here next to it, we also have a souvenir yo-yo. These are what I call photolithographic souvenir yo-yos. They were very popular in the early 70s. I'm a big fan of these. And they were a series that you can collect. And I honestly don't know how many there are. I have probably about 20 different ones, and I'm sure there's tons more. But if you like to collect a series, it's kind of hard to find, but relatively cheap when you do find them. Those photolithographic series are fun. This is from Stanton, Missouri. I'm not sure what attraction it's advertising. This other yo-yo is also a souvenir yo-yo. I refer to these as the rainbow yo-yos because they all had rainbow colors. These two were very popular in the early 70s, maybe even the late 60s. And there's a ton of attractions that have used this style of souvenir. So this is another great souvenir series you can collect. And hopefully by winning these, it'll get you interested in collecting these type of souvenir yo-yos, which they just don't make anymore. The ones that are made now just aren't quite as interesting as these early 70s souvenir yo-yos. So good luck to the winner of the trivia contest. You get all this good stuff.
Okay, that's the prize package for tonight. Remember, sign in early because we only have 20 slots to play. And I'm getting a double echo. All right, so anyway, I'm sorry, we had a little technical difficulty there. So anyway, this at the end of the show, we're going to play the trivia contest. And I want to say I did a little research on that photolithographic yo-yo because I'd always seen that. It kind of looked funny to me. I thought, well, what is this, a drawing or something? And then I got to looking at it, and I think that is from the Jesse James Museum in Stanton, Missouri, which makes it even more interesting for me because there's a little backstory there that I actually have with Jesse James. There's the Wax Museum. And like I said, those photolithographs were, promoted to a lot of different, souvenir shops and things like that run these things. But Jesse James and Frank James were in a gang called the Younger Gang. And it turns out I have a friend, and we started talking, and we found out that our great-great-grandfathers were trying to kill each other. They were in a skirmish during the Civil War with my grandfather was fighting, of course, on the winning side, the Union side, whereas his great-great-grandfather was one of the younger brothers, and he fought with the James gang. Well, in the Civil War, they fought together, and they were in a skirmish with my grandfather, and it turned out that one of my relatives met Frank James when he was like in his late 80s or 90s. He was some celebrity at some trotting race. Anyway, they started talking about this skirmish they were in because back then, you were close enough together when you're shooting these muzzle-loading rifles that you could, call names to each other and all that kind of stuff. So they talked for an hour about this thing where they were trying to kill each other. So anyway, a very good friend of mine, we come to find out, and our grandfathers were trying to kill themselves, kill each other. And fortunately, they were unsuccessful for most of us. Okay, so if you've been tuning in just right now, we're going to be showing you the 3 new inductees into the National Yo-Yo Hall of Fame. And then shortly after that, Ed Haponik will be on, and we're going to have a nice little discussion with him. He is a master of fixed yo-yo play. We'll do a little shout out to the Orlando Yo-Yo Club. They'll be hosting a Citrus Spinner 90-second freestyle yo-yo contest. That's in March. They're only going to have 12 players, so you need to sign up quick. I believe the entries open up this Wednesday. Dano tells me first prize is immortality. Now, moving forward, let's talk a little bit about the National Yo-Yo Hall of Fame. It was originated by the American Yo-Yo Association in 2002. The first inductees honored were Pedro Flores, Duncan Sr., and Barney Akers. And each year following that, we've had 3 inductees chosen by the membership of the American Yo-Yo Association. And this happened until 2008, when the Hall of Fame was kidnapped by orcs and sequestered in a dark cave somewhere in the Middle Earth. And I might point out now that our show's producer, Sean, does not get the references because he refuses to read Tolkien or even watch the movies. So please feel obligated to abuse him in the comments section right now. Anyway, the National Yo-Yo Hall of Fame reappeared in 2020, and each year nominations for the potential inductees are open to the general public. Of these nominations, the 3 with the most nominations are automatically placed in the 10 finalist pool. From the remaining nominees, 7 more are selected as finalists by the executive committee, which is largely made up of other Hall of Fame inductees. So voting for the final 3 inductees is done by members of the Academy of Yo-Yo Arts. Now, you can find out who's in the National Yo-Yo Hall of Fame by going to the nationalyoyohalloffame.com. I'm going to take just a second here and show you who our current members are, and these are all legends in the yo-yo world, and these are the current members, not the 3 yet, but these are who are right now in the Hall of Fame.
These are the current members of the National Yo-Yo Hall of Fame. Pedro Flores, Don Duncan Sr., Barney Akers, Bob Rule, Don Duncan Jr., Jack Russell, Harvey Lowe, Dale Meyerberg, Dale Oliver, Linda Singpil, Joe Radovan, Dr. Tom Kuhn, Dennis McBride, Gus Samara, Joe Young, Bill DuBois-Blanc, Wilf Schlee, Bob Allen, Steve Brown, Dazzling Dave Schulte, John Gates, Andre Boulay, Valerie Oliver, and Dr. Popular.
So anyway, I don't think we can thank these folks enough for all that they've done for our sport. Many of these individuals are currently living and continue to support the yo-yoing community. And I've also noticed that many times when we open the nominations for the Hall of Fame, these names keep getting nominated. You do not need to nominate somebody that's already in the Hall of Fame, just for the future. So just so you know, here are the names of our 10 finalists for this year. Jimmy Johnson, Stuart Crump, Fast Eddie McDonald, Chuck Short, Mark McBride, Bob Malowney, Jennifer Baybrook, Brad Countryman, John Higby, and Tommy Rays. So those were the 10 finalists. I guess now we should just go on and run the video of who our 3 inductees for today. But I will say this, just a reminder, being a finalist in the Hall of Fame is an honor in of itself, and most of these people that I just read off will in future years go on and become members of the Hall of Fame. So anyway, the voting was really tight this year, but we only get 3, so here they are. Roll the film there, Sean.
Jennifer Baybrook began throwing the yo-yo at a very early age 6. By age 8, known as the Yo-Yo Princess, her first professional performance was with the Smothers Brothers. She eventually became the first female U.S. national yo-yo champion and world champion, both in the 2A division, and she was the first person ever to hold both the world and national championship titles at the same time. And yes, she was competing against the boys. She's demonstrated in over 15 different countries. She was one of the original members of Team High Performance and then became a member of Team Yo-Yo Jam. Her official Yomega Zone training video is well known. She is a national yo-yo master. She has several signature yo-yos. Currently, she works with the Duncan Kids Youth Program. She is a motivational speaker and continues to teach thousands of kids each year how to yo-yo. Jennifer Baybrook. Bob Malowney. Although videos of Bob throwing a yo-yo are harder to find than a Candy-swirl Flores in mint condition, Bob is best known for his behind-the-scenes involvement and influence in the modern yo-yo craze. He moved to Chico, California in the early 80s and opened a store there called Bird in Hand, a linchpin in the yo-yo community. In the early 80s, he restarted the California State Championships and then in 1993 he founded the Modern Yo-Yo National Championships and kept it running for decades. He was instrumental in the formation of the American Yo-Yo Association and the National Yo-Yo League. He is the director and historian of the National Yo-Yo Museum, housed at Chico, California. Additionally, he started the recognition program for National Grand Masters and Masters and was on the original board for the National Yo-Yo Hall of Fame. Perhaps one of the most recognized voices in the yo-yo world, being the announcer for innumerable national championships and some world championships. Without the foundation Bob's made, there would have never been a modern yo-yo community as we know it today. Bob Malowney. John Higby. John is a full-time professional yo-yo player. Not only has he demonstrated for various yo-yo companies, but he is one of the best-known professional yo-yo street performers. He has traveled the world during performances at festivals and has been on multiple national television shows, including the Guinness World Records, The Letterman Show, The Gong Show, and many others. He is a former World AP Yo-Yo Champion, and he has set 4 Guinness World Records. His artistic talents go well beyond just dexterity with the yo-yo, as he may be even better known in the yo-yoing community for his artwork on canvas, yo-yos, animated film productions, and other objects. He is known for being the creator of the cartoon character Mr. Yodel, and if you are a serious collector of yo-yos, we will undoubtedly have a piece of Higby art in your collection. John Higby, 2022 National Yo-Yo Hall of Fame inductee.
Okay, I want to congratulate all 3 of you. You're already legends in the yo-yo community, but it's just the old stamp of approval to make it official. So for you guys and gal, I'll be contacting you shortly to get a photo that you want to have on your plaque. And we'll also be doing a little ceremony if you happen to be at the U.S. Nationals, where we'll hand out your Chenille Hall of Fame patch, probably the toughest patch in the world to acquire. So viewers, please give congratulations to Bob, Jennifer, and John, our newest members of the National Yo-Yo Hall of Fame, a well-deserved honor for all 3. All right, before we get to our guest, Ed Haponik, I want to give you a little update on the Cajun yo-yo. John Meistral's just released another yo-yo. This is a very limited run of 36, and let's see that little video there, Sean.
Hey, fellow yo-yoers. Cajun Spinners has released the 5th yo-yo in its lineup, the Filipino Come and Go yo-yo. The word yo-yo is a Tagalog word that means come and go. The Tagalog people make up 1/3 of the population of the Philippines. This Cajun Spinners yo-yo is in honor of the many great and dedicated Filipino demonstrators who helped popularize the yo-yo in the United States during the 1920s and beyond. Sold exclusively on eBay.
Several companies in the past have used those kind of paint swirl patterns, and I think they're very cool. I've actually ordered a couple already from John. So yeah, we call them candy swirls or paint swirls, and you know, Flores, Duncan, Flyback, there's a lot of companies that have done that before. But those are really sweet looking yo-yos, and I think you can pick them up for about $24.95 on eBay right now. But there is a limited number, so you better grab them while you can. And a quick reminder, if you do have a new yo-yo you're releasing, please send me photos or a short video. I'm happy to show it off to everyone. All right, we've got waiting in the back our guest tonight. As I've mentioned before, if you say the word fixed axle, one person name pops up at the top of the list. It's Ed Haponik, and Ed is a 2-time world fixed axle champion and has been playing the yo-yo for decades. And as I mentioned before, He may have the longest running string of never missed days of playing yo-yo that started in 2005. Welcome to Yo-Yo Talk, Ed. Yeah, I hear you great. You can't.
Hold on a second. You have to unmute yourself, Luck.
Okay, that's on me. I have to unmute myself. Sorry about
I have
that.
no audio from you.
All right, my thumb is too big for the. I'm trying to.
Anything we
unmute.
can try?
Yeah, I got it. You got me now?
I got you.
All
Now.
right.
I got you now.
All right,
Much
cool.
better.
Sorry, little technical difficulty. We always have a few of those on Yo-Yo Talk. So, well, anyway, great having you on the show. I've already mentioned that you are Mr. Fixed Axle. And how did you get your start in yo-yos?
Starting yo-yo. My first yo-yo was given to me from my parents. It was a Yomega brain, the late 80s, maybe 88 or 89. And it was one of those like clear brains in the jewel box. And I couldn't make it work for anything. Like I couldn't get it back to my hand. And it was incredibly depressing. So I had taken it around. I brought it to school. And actually the first day that I had brought it to school, I traded it to a way worse yo-yo, at least objectively. Which was one of these, a Duncan Midnight Special. It was not this one,
yes. Very
just a
nice.
glorified opaque black Imperial with sparkly stars, which
Right.
I really liked. And I could get it to go up and down. So that was a huge selling point for me as opposed to the brain, which I could not get to work. And so that was actually like the first time, I guess, that I issued a transaxle in favor of a fixed axle. So from the very beginning, that was the way. And then, I kind of just played on and off, not in any way seriously. I probably knew 4 tricks, for like the next decade until the boom. And then, the late 90s, I was a camp counselor and all the kids at camp were playing with fireballs and the bombs and stuff.
I think we've got a picture maybe of that, don't we, there?
Friends?
Yeah, the early friends there, that
Oh,
picture.
Probably embarrassing, but
Let me see if yeah, let's see that photo there, Sean. I think he's actually showing us the fireball yo-yo. He's there as a camp counselor.
You're good.
Classic. It might have been a Raider at that point because
No, that's not it. It's the one where he's sitting. Yeah.
no, that's the same time period though. That's
Yeah.
maybe
Yeah.
like a year. That's the custom.
Yeah. Please. Yeah. So anyway, you were a camp. Oh, there it is. You were a camp counselor, and they gave you that yo-yo, right?
Yeah, they gave me a THP. Oh yeah, there it is. A THP Glow Raider, which was like my first ball bearing yo-yo, and like kind of blew
And
me away.
that's pretty collectible yo-yo now. I hope you still have it.
I do. I have it here. I still have the same thing. Yeah, it's awesome.
Nice.
And I brought it to college, and instantly I could do tricks that I couldn't do before, like split the atom and double or nothing and stuff. And it was like suddenly like, wow, I guess a little bit of scientific engineering does go a long way. After that, I didn't play a whole lot between maybe like 2000 and 2004, 2005 when I saw Doc Pop's experiment number 4 on the Glass Lab.
Right,
and
right.
yeah,
So he was one of your influencers. I think you said Steve Brown was kind of an influencer to you to get really into yo-yos. Do you have that photo there of him and Steve?
Yes, I do. Photo?
Yeah, Steve for sure, especially
Well,
in terms
that's
of
not the photo, but that's an early picture of you there, Ed. What is that yo-yo you're playing?
that's a custom mag Predator.
Oh,
from,
okay, yeah. Oh, I see Tim Simca already posted that it looked like a mag. Yeah, I agree. That's what that was.
Look at the
So that was kind of early years of just starting. You hadn't really gotten into it yet, though, right?
Yeah, I was probably starting to get into it at this point.
Yeah.
And yeah, this would be like I'm on like my first or second year teaching, and still not like, this is probably like the apex of what I could do with a yo-yo for sure. But yeah, you mentioned Steve Brown for sure, like one of my my key influences, especially in terms of like his attitude toward like performance and also kind of creativity and like how to approach like a new
got
trick.
that shot of him and Steve there, Sean?
Let's see. Is it signature yo-yo, stick yo-yos?
No.
Let's try that one.
No. That does get us into your signature yo-yos there. There's a whole bunch of them. Can you see those, Ed?
Oh, yes, I can. Yeah, the A, as it were. Yeah.
Yeah. I assume that's for Ed Haponik, right?
Or just for Canada. Yeah, but yeah, it's kind of a double entendre. Because we made those Steve Buffalo from Spy in Canada, and it started as just kind of like a silly little,
I get it now. Okay, yeah. I get it. Okay. I didn't know that. There's a little piece of yo-yo trivia for y'all. Now,
that's right.
Were there big production runs of those yo-yos? Do you know what kind of numbers were produced?
Every year we did like, I think the biggest run was like 150. So it was never big. Every year for essentially a decade. So like there are a lot of them out there. They're just of different variations. So altogether, they're a pretty big run.
Were those mods that you made, or was that made in conjunction with whoever was doing the turning?
No, it was Colin Leland of Timber. He took the original design and then kind of took off, and we changed it every year pretty much in one way or another.
Cool.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, there you are with one of your, I guess I would say, influencers or mentors. I can see why he would you would want to emulate him.
We're a duo. Oh yeah, who wouldn't want that on stage?
Yeah, exactly. Who's that there you're with?
That's Steve Brown. Oh, that's Drew Tate.
No. Okay,
yeah,
there you
Tate.
go. Drew Tate.
That's
okay.
Day we met, I think, actually, and he's definitely like one of my other key influences, and also just like best friends in the world. Right. Anytime I have a trick idea that I like need to know if it's already a thing, or if like we've already discussed it, or if it's even relevant, I'll bring it to him and be like, hey, what do you think? And he'll give it to me straight.
Well, Sean did a little calculation because, like I had mentioned earlier in the show, you're famous for playing the yo-yo every single day without fail since 2005. And you had told me that you thought you averaged about 45 minutes a day actually playing the yo-yo. And so he calculated it. That's 205 straight days of nonstop yo-yo play. So that's pretty impressive, or something else. I don't know what else you would call it.
Right. You say like.
And what got you doing that? And let me ask you this: how many? Because obviously you have a plethora of videos on. We've all seen them. How often do you video? Do you? Because I notice them popping up a lot. You put out one every day, or what's your posting?
Yeah, well, going back to the streak thing, that just kind of started like casually after like a week. Shortly after I saw that Doc Pop video, I kind of like had played every day for a week or something. I was like, oh, how about that? I've played every day for like this week, and like maybe I'll play every day like next week. And it kind of like snowballed in that kind of way. And then after like a month or something like that, I was like, well, let's just like see how far I can go. And it's really, really surprisingly easy to keep up. Like I can count on like one hand the number of times that I've had to like, get out of bed and be like, I didn't play yo-yo today, and like actually like take a few minutes to like have a session, because like generally it's pretty therapeutic and like very, relaxing, and something that like is just kind of part of my kind of ritual. But in terms of posting, no, that's kind of more just informal. Like I'll film like something when I have like an idea that I kind of like, whether I've done it before or not. And that's maybe like, I don't know, a couple times a week. And then I feel like it's worth anything, to me. If I enjoyed hitting the trick, then I'll post it. But yeah, I don't really think about like trying to like hit a quota in terms of posting tricks. But definitely, I do like actively try to make time to play, every day, usually around the same time of day, just because I find it to be like, it's just really hard to quit. It's a weird compulsion, but it's good for me.
Yeah, well, I think a lot of people watching maybe do similar, not maybe quite as long a string as you, but we just get into the habit of this time of day, you want to throw some just to relax. Now, you've been involved in a lot of the contests, especially with the fixed axle stuff. I know, like, for instance, just the most recent Florida State Championships, you ran the little fixed axle division that was how often have you done that? What's your kind of history with the fixed axle kind of competitions?
It seems, well, I've judged for a long time, just kind of traditional judging, and it seems like, for the last like 15 years or so, like every time that I've judged, a contest, the organizers have like, said like, hey, why don't we do a fixed axle thing too? And what's fun about it is it's never the same. They'll kind of like either give me some leeway, or they'll have some like off the wall idea about how they want it to kind of contrast with the regular freestyle, and it's super fun to kind of like form fit it to the contest. So yeah, the Florida State one was super awesome and really fun and low key. And the way we do it at the World Yo-Yo Contest, which is like, peer judged and, just like so supportive and encouraging, and like not in any way, cutthroat. I mean, it's like, it's so calm. It's really fun. And yeah, it seems like virtually every contest I go to, like people are willing and excited to kind of like run a fixed axle contest just as kind of like an anomalous counterpoint to, the regular freestyles, which are also awesome, but like kind of have a different energy.
So when you, obviously you've been to a lot of contests over the years and all that. If you had a bizarre moment or kind of out of ordinary experience, what would you say comes to mind? What would be your top experience-wise that you can share, with maybe considering people that are watching might not want to hear some of them.
Very different. I would say like my weirdest one is probably not actually a contest, but I was hired to be a stunt double for a graduate a postgraduate film project. They were doing a film called Life Spun at UNC Wilmington, and these grad students kind of had me come out to Wilmington, and I was gonna do a neck down kind of shot of slow-mo yo-yo playing. But what was funny was the actor who I was trying to portray was like about 5'1" and like maybe like 110 pounds, and I was not. And I this exact same shirt that he wore, and like on film, it's like it could not be plainer that like that's two different people. And not only that, but we were like so woefully, hilariously unprepared for like actual yo-yoing to happen. Like the yo-yo they had been using like to shoot with was a bright red spray painted turbo bumblebee that like they had just like they spray painted the entire thing, like the bearing and the brake pads, all of it was like completely coated in bright spray paint. And the only thing that I had in my case was a powder coated cold fusion yo-yo, and so I used that, and it was actually kind of close, but it was just very, very funny how like totally unprepared, and also like how a ridiculous contrast between me and that actor. I have the DVD of that, and it's really too embarrassing to share.
So was this a film that actually got published then, or was this just a?
They made like they showed it in a theater, and they made like a limited run of like DVD, pressings or burnings or whatever.
So you made it.
Yeah,
so you are a movie star, kind of.
Totally a movie star. Yeah. Well, it's like Zoolander, and then it's me.
Very quickly from our audience.
It's bad.
Oh, we got a question?
We have two things.
Okay.
Number one, John Gates says fixed axle yo-yo is yo-yoing. I don't know if y'all agree with that or not, but it's a statement. I don't know if it's a question.
I would say that's not surprising coming from John Gates. All right, what's the...
And the other one is from a new viewer from YouTube. His name is Voltaire. He says, "Hey, Lucky, I hope at some point you do a special where you discuss the yo-yoing boom of 98 through 99. And I bring that up because Ed, you were yo-yoing that time too. If you wanted to share a little something for Voltaire there.
Can you?
Yeah, the
can you
question
repeat
was
back?
the question was about the boom of '98 and '99. Where were you, as far as yo-yoing during the boom?
You mean like geographically, or like what was
Well,
I
no,
doing?
just where were you in the yo-yo world? What were you doing? Were you
Oh yeah,
entering contests? Yeah.
I wasn't even. Yeah, I had entered like one contest that was locally, just it was at like a toy store called Zany Brainy, and that was the first contest and the only contest
Oh
that I'd
yeah,
done.
sure.
And
Zany Brainy.
I was like totally, with the exception of Ken's World on a String and Yomania was another site. Those were the only two sites that like on the internet that I was actually aware of. So like in terms of like forums or like the yo-yo scene, like, exploding on the internet, like I was like totally unaware of that until like 2004, which like
Wow.
definitely precluded me from like a lot of great friendships that like I made later. But yeah, I was just, I was making up tricks, and I was throwing the tricks that like the kids at camp, taught me. And like, we were like, I'm sure like all the tricks that I thought were super
So you
cool,
were
like,
learning actually then from the younger kids that were kind of part of the craze, and then it kind of fed into kind of more of a long-term passion.
yeah, I would say my only like window into like the yo-yo world, so to speak, was in the, like, remember the magazines, Yo-Yo World? I had those.
Well, I
and
remember
thought
Fiend magazine very well.
no, I didn't. I wasn't cool enough to have.
Oh, that was the magazine to have. Yeah, I know Yo-Yo World, of course, too, but I was involved with Fiend magazine, which had a very quick demise, unfortunately. Kind of like the craze. It went there and then it went there. So it followed, the Feed magazine followed the craze. Now, you collect yo-yos too, and I want to say, Ed has one of the best, if not the best, collection of the No Jive yo-yos I've ever seen. Can you show that Yo-Yo Jive collection of Ed's, and maybe we can talk a little bit about that. And I think you had told me, yeah, look at those babies. Those are the Tom Kuhn No 3-in-1 No Jives. There's some pretty sweet yo-yos in that group there. And you had told me too that was pretty much your favorite throwing yo-yo.
Yeah, I think it still is.
Okay.
That's the yo-yo that I probably play, more than any other, except for like the A yo-yo that, like, I've kind of committed to playing for years at a time. Yeah, I throw no jives all the time. And I've got like the Olympic one from 1984, which
yeah, it's
Tom
right there
sent.
in the right-hand side, just passing by.
Yep.
there. If people aren't familiar with that, that is a major yo-yo. Those babies sell for over $1,000 now, and they only made a handful of them because that was a prototype for the Olympics, which the Olympics didn't pick up. So he gave a few away, had a few out there. But if you've got one of those Olympic yo-yos, you've got a really highly collectible one.
Yeah, they're pretty sweet.
Yeah,
but
there's
yeah,
some. I see the let's see. I think that was the Kruger brothers. I think that was his. I think that was his first ad yo-yo, wasn't it?
Yeah, the backpacking company. Yep.
Yeah, those are incredibly rare too. So yeah, you've got some amazing stuff there.
Thank you.
And you met Tom Kuhn when you were younger, right?
I didn't.
Oh no, I'm thinking. You know what? I'm thinking of. I'm trying to remember who that was. I think it was maybe Higby that was telling me that he got on a bus when he was like 13 or something and went and met Tom Kuhn.
Yeah. No, I didn't meet him till I was like 30.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. He's definitely another of my like major influences. Not just like in terms of like as a yo-yo player, but like in the like his philosophy of like yo-yo as like a way of life. And like, I mean, it's just his attitude toward yo-yoing is like just something that has inspired me a lot. So he's definitely one of the greats.
So
you know, you've done a lot in yo-yoing. I mean, what's your vision for the future of Ed and yo-yos coming up? I mean, do you have any grand plans or anything like that? Or just
go up and down.
Keeping on.
No, I think you know, I'm not. I think that's kind of like asking, like, you know, a fish in an estuary to like ask about like the future of the ocean. I feel like it's like,
yeah, okay.
I think I in terms of like fixed axle yo-yo and what we call like modern responsive yo-yo, I feel like there's like a lot of inspiration out there, and there's a lot of like tremendous room to explore. Like even using like these super, you know, primitive kind of archaic models, you know, there's so much trick potential that's still waiting to unlock. So I think that like it's really inspiring, having just finished this fixed axle February that we just kind of finished to watch like people kind of look at fixed axle yo-yoing with kind of fresh eyes and kind of see where we can take it next. That's what I get kind of, you know, jazzed up about. And then also like, how can we take like the fixed axle and the responsive kind of concepts and then bring them to, you know, unresponsive yo-yoing too, and kind of like play them with a similar mindset or attitude. So yeah, there's a lot that I'm excited about. But no, I can't say I have grand plans beyond just watching.
Hey, you know, it has been great having you on the show. Obviously, we need to get you back on the show sometime in the future. Probably get you on here and do some of your fixed axle stuff as well. But it's been neat finding out more about you and all that, and appreciate you being on the Hall of Fame inductee show. That's a hard act to follow, I think, but you were a wonderful guest.
Thank you so much. Thanks for having me, Lucky.
Yeah, and I hope you stick around and take part in our trivia contest, because, folks, that is what is up. What's that?
I'm going to crush it. I got it. I'm on it right now.
All right, cool. All right, so now what we need to do is we're getting ready to have our trivia contest. And so you need to sign in to be able to play. There's only 20 slots. I don't know where we're at signing up wise. Sean is going to put up on the comment section here.
It's been up for a little while.
That's been up for a while.
We have 6, 7 so far.
7.
Put the link in the chat again.
All right, he's going to put the link up one more time. We'll give you a couple more minutes. We'd like to get up to at least double digits here, folks. We got that nice Flores mug up for grabs, as well as 2 pretty cool souvenir yo-yos, one of the rainbow type and one of the photolithographic type. Again, if you collect any kind of souvenir yo-yos, you're familiar with both of those series. So and even if you don't want the yo-yos in the mug, that's fine too. We want you to just join the trivia contest and see how well you do. And it's a lot of fun, and no harm done if you miss some questions, because there's always questions that not anybody's going to get other than by guessing. So anybody still has a pretty good chance of winning. So what do we got now, Sean? We got anybody else signing up?
Got 10 or 20 so far.
10 or 20. Okay, we'll give it a minute or 2 more, and we'll see. Go on and sign up. It's a lot of fun. If you've ever done the trivia contest, it's real easy. What we do is there's going to be 5 questions. We show the question. The faster you answer correctly, the more points you get. So speed is important when it comes down to getting the most points. I don't think anybody's got a perfect score yet on these trivia contests, so it's anybody's game. But it is a lot of fun, and you might learn a little bit about yo-yoing and probably see some people's names popping up that you know. And there might even be a question or 2 that is related to tonight's show as well. So we're going to... What's that?
Rick came close to getting perfect scores last time.
Sean just corrected me that Rick Rentz came very close to having a perfect score last time, so we'll see. I guess he's the...
You can pull it up if you want.
Oh, okay. He's the defending champion, so I assume Rick is signed in, and so he's the guy to beat, I guess. Is the Nickinator signed in by chance? I don't think the Nickinator's been playing the last couple rounds.
I can't see see them until the first question.
Oh, okay. Can't tell who people are. Okay, do we get any more than 10? Because if
We are at 13 of 20.
Wow, 13. All right. Well, we can't stay at 13. That's an unlucky number for everybody. So let's go till we get at least 14. Let's get one more person signing in at least. If we get 14 or 15, we'll get started here. Let me know, Sean, when we get that 14th or 15th person.
Got 14.
We just got 14. Okay, we'll give you a countdown of 30 seconds here, and to get that 15th person in. If we get that 15th person in, then we'll end it there. So you got one shot at being that 15th person. Don't be shy.
I will also say we did up the time. It should be 45 seconds.
It's going to be a little longer now, so it is going to be a little bit longer time to think about it, and I'll have a little long. I don't want to be so pressed to read those questions so quickly too.
Okay, we still got 14.
Still got 14. We got about 10 more seconds to sign in, or we're going to start with 14. We're going to start with 14. We're going to count it down here. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, well, we're ready to start the trivia contest.
Sounds like a plan.
All right. As soon as Sean logs us in. Okay, here we go. Which one of these 5 were not members in the Inaugural Hall of Fame inductees in 2002? Pedro Flores, Barney Akers, Don Duncan Sr., Richard Nixon. Answer option. Well, I wouldn't put answer option because I think that's a typo. So anyway, one of those 4 listed was not an inductee into the National Yo-Yo Hall of Fame. And it's counting down now. You still have about 12 seconds left to go. But I hope you've answered much quicker, because the quicker you answer, the more points you get.
I will say the answer option was a trick to see if anybody was actually paying
Okay,
attention to
here
what
we
the
go.
shows.
And let's see how people did. The correct answer was, of course, Richard Nixon was not in the Inaugural Hall of Fame inductees in 2002, even though he is associated with the yo-yo, having had the most expensive yo-yo ever sold at auction was one that has his autograph on it. It was $16,029, I believe. All right, let's see how we're doing score-wise for everybody. And so right now, we got some people that didn't answer. That's too bad. So because that was going to be one of the really easy questions. So right now we've got 6 people. But the person that answered the quickest, it looks like, was Voltaire, and he is in first place by just 3 points. Rick Rentz, I believe, is in second, and John Bozung is just a point behind him in third. So let's go to our second question of tonight's trivia contest. What year did Ed Haponik start his continuous run of yo-yo play without missing a day? 2001, 2005, 2009, 2013. Ed plays with My Little Ponies, not yo-yos. Okay. I think Ed may have an advantage here on this one. You would think he would, but anybody that watched the show actually, and is very quick with pushing the buttons, could answer faster than Ed, I guess, on that one. We got 5 seconds to go here, and we will see what the correct answer is. And the correct answer is 2005. 2005. So not much else to say about that. I don't know if actually Ed sometimes plays with My Little Ponies. Maybe he does, but we'll just keep that our own little secret. Okay, let's go on and see how our point scores run. Oh, Ed is still in second place. So Voltaire is leading by 7 points. Ed is close, 7 points away. Big Rob moved up in the rankings to number 3. So, all right, we will go to our third question. Now they start getting a little more difficult. In September issue 2001 of the AYYA newsletter. Who is on the cover setting a Shoot the Moon longest string record? Is it A, Bill Du Bois Blanc, B, Doc Pop, C, Steve Brown, D, John Gates, or E, Jack Russell? I don't know if John's playing or not, but I would think he would be able to say yay or nay on his name. He should know that. So we've got about 12 seconds left. This is a hard one because I don't think anybody would know this right off the top, except for maybe the correct answer, who is D, John Gates. And I will show you, there is the picture right there under my index finger. That is John Gates there setting that 12-foot 6-inch, I believe that's what it was then. Yep, 12-foot 6-inch world record for the AYYA. Congratulations to John Gates. And let's see how everybody did. And here, whoa, we didn't get too many. Well, John Gates is apparently not answering any questions. So we have Big Rob took a hefty lead there. Voltaire drops down to second place. And then Steve's Spy Steve. Oh, okay, thank you. Spy Steve. Yeah, there you go, is now in third place, where Ed is just 6 points behind. So it's still a close race. Anybody could win. And now we are going on to our fourth question, second to last question. What was the first company to produce a Candy-swirl paint design on their yo-yo? Flyback, Duncan, Royal, the Cajun yo-yo, and Flores. I think you should be able to figure that one out based on what you saw on today's show and some of the things I was talking about. Those Candy-swirl designs are a very favorite one of mine, and we were talking about that Cajun Candy-swirl yo-yo that just got released on the show. But what was the first company to produce a Candy-swirl paint design on their yo-yo? And we will find that answer out here in 2 seconds. And the correct answer is, of course, Flores. Flores was the first yo-yo company to produce a Candy-swirl paint job, and he was the first to do a lot of things in the yo-yo world, but those are gorgeous yo-yos if you happen to have one or seen one. All right, let's see how the point score is going into the final round. Okay, Big Rob holds on to a lead. Spy Steve, second place. John M. is in third, but as you know, you can completely switch the rankings here with this very last question, and we'll hit it now. The most popular toy in 1952 was not the yo-yo. What was it? Matchbox cars, Frisbee, Play-Doh, Gumby, Mr. Potato Head. One of those was the most favorite toy in 1952. The yo-yo was popular. The yo-yo was popular in most of those years, but it did not beat this particular toy in 1952. This toy was the king of toys in 52. And in 10 seconds, we are going to find out what that toy was. Should have been the yo-yo, but it wasn't. And the correct answer is Mr. Potato Head. And if you're old like me, you will remember Mr. Potato Head. Originally, you put the little pieces in the potato itself. Mr. Potato Head was the very first toy that was marketed on television, and that was in 1952, and that's probably what made it the most popular toy that year, because the yo-yo was still very, very popular in 1952. So now we are going to see who our trivia contest winner is. Big Rob. Big Rob. Man, he did well tonight. Big Rob did well. So who is Big Rob?
I don't know.
We need to find out who Big Rob is.
Announce yourself in the chat.
Yeah, put in the chat who you are, Big Rob.
Also, John Gates says, I'm going for the most wrong answers.
But wait a minute. John Gates was playing?
Yeah.
Oh, John, how did you miss the question about you? That's what I want to know. It was you on the cover of the 2001 AYYA newsletter. So,
Tim says, I tied with Ed. RC Yo-Yo, it says, I'm Big Rob. That doesn't help me. Does it help you, Lon? Who is RC Yo-Yo?
we need your we need your contact information so we can send you those great prizes.
You don't gotta put it in the chat, but put direct message us.
Yeah, DR us.
DM.
DR. All right. Well, that was fun, guys. Thanks for playing. Thanks, Ed, again for not only being a guest on the show, but playing the trivia contest with us. Next month, let me see, I think it's, I've forgotten already, is it April 6th? Yeah, it's April 6th, it's next month's Yo-Yo Talk, so make sure you red letter day that on your calendars. I don't know who the guest will be, I haven't figured it out yet, I guess I'll be as surprised as you. So anyway, just a reminder, you can never have too many yo-yos. This is Doc Lucky signing off until April 6th. 9:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. See you then.